Hello everybody, back again with another review video. And today's review is over the newly released DC Multiverse Geo-Force, which is a part of the McFarlane Collector Edition line. Just like every other figure that's a part of the Collector Edition line, there is the regular version, which you can see here, and there is the Platinum version. I accidentally picked up the Platinum version because I got excited seeing a bunch of figures that I haven't seen for a long time, aka just new figures. And little did I realize I accidentally picked up the Platinum version instead of the regular version, so I had to hurry up, go back to that store, which is about 30 minutes away, and get the regular version. So I will be putting this guy up for sale, but it does create a good comparison. So you can see it's kind of more of the classic colors of Geo-Force. I don't know much about this guy, but after barely any research, this is the classic color scheme for the Platinum edition, and that is the new, I guess, version of Geo-Force. So the only difference is pretty much everywhere that's red is yellow, everywhere that's gold is kind of like an orange color in a way, or mustard color, and everywhere that is red or orange, I forgot what I already said, but orange is green on this version, and it does have the faceplates, which look to be the same as well, and everything else is the same besides the effects right there. As you can see, they're orange. And here they are a purple or pink color. So that's pretty much the only difference between the two. And also, I guess the hair color is orange compared to a brown, as you can see on the regular version. So other than that, let's get more into the figure. Yes, the box is very beat up for some reason. All the new figures they had in the area, just like this one, were beat to shreds. But once again, I was excited to finally see new figures. So I was willing to take the risk and just get a beat up boxed one because I'm gonna open it either way. Going more with the package is 12 plus, just like every other figure, and 22 moving parts is what can be seen here at the top. And here on the side, you're gonna see McFarlane Collector Edition, Geo-Force, and it is number 24 in the line, which can be seen down below. Moving on to the back, you're gonna get this nice art. I think it is pretty good, at least from my end. I feel like it's pretty good. I like the big contrast in colors with, you can see just some meteorites there that he's holding and the space background. Just really like the artwork going on here. I feel like it presents a good amount of the color of the actual character in the art. Almost said color, don't know why. And then moving on to the last side, here you go. Geo-Force once again, pretty basic and bland. Number 24 there again at the bottom. And for those who may be searching in store, here is the barcode to ask an employee about. Other than that, let's actually open it on up and see what it has to offer. When opening it up, the first thing you're gonna get is the typical display stand for the Collector Edition line with the silver DC logo. Other than that, everything is the same. And just like all the newer released Collector Edition figures, there is no more card stands, so I'm gonna present just the card as we see here. Same art they can see on the back of the box. Nice coloring going on. Got the nice McFarlane Collector Edition here at the side, which I honestly really like, and I'll say it time and time again. Then here's a nice read up, very descriptive read up. I'll have to read up on it behind scenes because I don't know much about this character at all. But for those who are also interested, feel free to pause the video here now and read it yourself. Next thing that's included is going to be two of these effects to go, I guess you can say, put the hands in and have the effects going on here. So that's interesting. They're both identical, at least from what I can see. The nice kind of orange going on here, translucent orange, and it is pretty thick and sturdy, not really super flexible. It's more of a hard plastic, so that's good to see. And the next two inclusions are the actual face plates. So the first one you're going to get is going to be kind of this weird smile. I mean, it's kind of creepy, at least from my personal opinion. Yeah, it's pretty well detailed, like the face sculpt, but that smile is definitely very sus, if I were to say the least. I don't really know, honestly, what expression they're going for, because it's very creepy. Honestly, kind of gives him the Joker vibe. So I think I'll avoid this faceplate, but I'll show it here later by putting it on the face of the figure and seeing how it looks. Or should I say the head of the figure, since it is the face. And the second one is more of what I like, which is kind of just the angry but kind of straight-faced expression. So there you go. See the nice eye detail. Paint application looks to be pretty good. There's some black on the inside there, if you can even see it. But other than that, I think the lips are done well. It's a nice skin tone. It's not too pale like Alfred, as you saw in the one Batmobile. So that's nice to see. Other than that, it's just red plastic. That's pretty much what's going on. Now here soon, I'll put it on the figure so you can see for yourself what it looks like. So when you take off the faceplate, this is what it's going to look like. Very creepy. For seeing the tongue right there or the back of the mouth, that looks very, very weird if I were to say so myself. So let me hurry up and put this on so I can stop looking at it. Okay, here's what the first faceplate's going to look like. Definitely is probably one of the tougher faceplates I've put on. I know there's not many so far, but it was one of the harder ones because when you at least try to take the original one off and then try putting on one of these other faceplates, the hair kind of gets in the way towards the top since the peg hole is more towards the forehead, I guess you can say. So it's definitely a little more difficult than some of the others like Huntress. Other than that, here's what he looks like with the first one that I showed, or the first faceplate. Looks pretty good. Once again, I am not a fan of that smile. Then here's the second faceplate, the more calm or kind of like serious expression, which I personally like. Maybe hard between the original one and this one. The original one obviously is going to have kind of like more when he's using his effects, when the power is really flowing through him, I guess you can say. Now this one's more just the him walking around type of expression, but I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, really like the face sculpts on these, or should I say, I don't know, faceplate sculpts, if that's what you want to call it. I think it looks pretty good the way it is. And other than that, let me put it on the original faceplate and get more into the detail and looking over the actual figure. So here he is with the original faceplate. Like I said, looks pretty good, and definitely more when he's using the powers. Definitely a really good face sculpt actually. When I was barely looking at it, it looked kind of goofy, but now it looks a lot better than honestly taking a quick glance. You got the nice angry expression. The only thing is that, as you can see, if you can even see it, is that when you turn and rotate the head, you can see kind of the gaps with the plastic because of it being a faceplate. You can see just the red, so that may throw it off a bit for some of you out there. It's not a super serious issue for me, although I do wish maybe they made the back area, where I guess you can say the tongue or back of the mouth, a lot more wider, so therefore you didn't see the red plastic shining through. That's just one suggestion right off the bat. And more on his face or head, I think it looks pretty good like I already described. The eyes seem to be put on there pretty well, maybe just a little slightly raised on this side, but that's not going to be the same for everybody else. The ears look to be pretty good sculpted as well. And I'm actually a really big fan of the hair because it does a mixture of kind of like the brown color and kind of a tan color. So you can see really has that realistic look to it and looks fantastic, at least from my personal opinion. For some, who knows, but for me, I think it looks really, really good and very well detailed. Dang near breaking his neck right now to show the hair, but oh well. That's pretty much it when it comes to detail on the actual head. I'm very impressed with the different face sculpt or faceplate detail. Rest of the actual figure is pretty much kind of bland, not much going on. The gold is pretty much just gold, like there's no black or a black wash going on it, just solid gold. And then on the orange, same story, just orange plastic once again. And then the red parts is red as well. And pretty much the boots are the same. You can just see the same lines. And I forgot what other figure that this falls along with, but it's definitely a reuse of that. Definitely a reuse of a recent figure that is. I think it's the part Manhunter or something else. I can't remember the one, but definitely just came out. I think it might be Captain Atom. That might be it. I can't remember, but yeah, he's definitely a reuse from that aspect. I do wish they put as much effort into the rest of the body by showing those details and lines better, just like they did here on the face sculpt and the hair and the face expression. But I guess you gotta cut costs somewhere, which is a bummer because they were doing so good up here, and down here just got kind of lazy by just painting on everything else. And here, Geo-Force or the GF are just paint on as well. That's pretty much what's going on there, and that's about it. Now let's get into the actual articulation. With the head, side to side, no issue, not too loose and not too firm. And then looking down, he's going to look down about this much and then look up about this much. Oops, almost raised the faceplate. That's the one bad thing about faceplates. If you touch it the wrong way, it's going to raise up. And then here, getting more into the arms, nice T-pose. This arm's a little more, I feel like, sturdy than this one. Feels a little loose compared to this side, so that's probably just quality control issues, just like typical McFarlane figures are. And then here, this seems to be doing its job, at least from my perspective. 360, no issue. This arm is definitely a lot more loose than this one. And here, when it comes to the elbow, full articulation. Almost skipped the bicep cut, but it does have bicep cut and does its job. And when it comes to the wrist, 360, no issue. And then raising it up. There we go, pretty much all the way. And then going down, you're going to be able to get it to go this much. There you go, from there. Now when it comes to the actual ab crunch, about this much. There you go. And then going forward, about this much. So quite a good amount. The only thing is once you do that, see some exposure here on the backside with this gap right here. Then comes the upper torso and turning. Perfect, no issue, not too tight, not too loose. Here in the waist, a little looser than it is on the upper torso. And then comes to the splits. Quite a lot, actually. Pretty much the full max capacity there. The plastic does move, so that's good to see. And then when it comes to the knee, about this much. And then moving down to the actual foot. There you go, no issue. Going up, no issue. Then movement side to side, no issue. And last but not least, toe articulation, which is usually a given, and here that is the case. Now let me actually go over the figure towards the end here, give my final thoughts, and give my final score. So what are my final thoughts on this figure? First off, he definitely should have came with a flight stand. For being a guy that literally flies for the majority of it, to give him a basic display stand is a big disappointment. It really takes away from a lot of posability, because he does, you gotta admit, look awkward right now by just being on a regular display stand. And when it comes to the actual effects here, yes, they do partially look nice, but I feel like here on the end it kind of ruins it. I'd rather just be more of like a puffy look to them, or just like cloud looks, or just cut off here at the end and just kind of go with some of the original looks. At least that's for me, to make it look more natural. And other than that, like I said, the face sculpts and the different face plates look phenomenal. I just wish they really carried out the rest of the effort that they did on the head for the rest of the body. As you can see, it just really lacks all that detail and really getting the lines to pop. Just using orange plastic or just painting over plastic with a regular orange or red, or even gold in this case, really just makes it look very, very bland and doesn't really give that collector edition feel to it. But I guess that is where the faceplates come into. But once again, they kind of added those since they took out the card stand. Good and a positive, but at the same time, you know, it's like you can't really use that as an excuse here as to why they add more detail. Other than that, I think he is a pretty basic figure. I don't think it really offers anything too special to give it really that full price tag. So honestly, it's up to you if you want to get it right off the bat or wait. Face sculpt for some probably could do it, but for me here, I think it doesn't really 100% hit the mark, especially the price point. The platinum is probably the better alternative to get compared to this one, especially if you're going more after the classic look in general. So if I were to rate this figure, the articulation, I felt like it was pretty good. The details are a little lacking besides there on the head and face. The accessories are okay, feel like maybe also extra hands could have gone a long way. And the blaster effects, or the effects right here, are okay. They have good purpose. I just feel like here it looks a bit awkward, at least for me. So if I were to rate this figure, I'd have to go with maybe a 7.9 out of 10. And pretty much a lot of it being carried is the fact that they did so much with the hair and face sculpts in general, or face plates. That's going to wrap it up for me. If you did like this review, please like, comment, and subscribe down below for more future content. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.